there's a couple of quotes that we all like about Albert Einstein. Most of the time we talk about the quote. And the reason why we like it, or the reason why I like it, it tells me that I should not be doing something the same way and then expect change or expect my results to change. So all the time, for example, if you are putting in 2 hours to study per day or per week, and you can only get 2 hours result. So when you're putting in 2 hours and expect 4 hours result, it tells you something else. If you give your wife or your partner $5 in the midst of rice crisis to buy food and rice and everything, and you expect the stuff to be, and you're not getting that, then just have to change the variable. All right, so thank you very much. As we discussed in the last meeting, we are going to do something unusual, that we are going to write our reflections, which we are quite aware of, and based on how much we have been doing here, and many of you wanting to see our system change, sometimes we have to make effort to go global, to do other things that we haven't done before, to showcase ourselves that we are also trying our best. All right. So we allow each person, as part of the final evaluation, to come and tell us at least one, at most two, of what you are taking from the class, but not just that, based on how the question has been framed. I know each person here has something to carry. And this is not really to bluff, but the essence of spending our time and effort is that we should be different, or we have something to rely on. I often say to people that education will be quite boring and frustrating. For us to spend much time and effort and we don't change anything. And what we should be pushing for in education is to make it real as much as possible, so that when we learn something today, it's like when you buy new clothes. You can wear the suit and the way you look can change. That's how education should be. I think education should be taken from the angle of not just to massage our curiosity for information or knowledge, but our preparedness for us to be brighter or shine better based on what we get. And collecting that information and being cautious to process the information, and then applying the information for the change. So I'm glad that you may be one of the first classes to do just for a closing part, perhaps somebody about our idea, and create that change. So feel free, you are only coming here, tell us what you learned and have begun using, and possibly the benefits you have started to accrue or get from the use of such. And then how you want to leverage it, whether you want to share with someone or you want to, whatever the case may be. Yeah, you're free to come with your reflection paper, but not necessarily to read from it. But just to tell us your top takeaway from here, and how that is really benefiting you.
My name is Kali Vatike. I'm so happy to be in this class, to listen to one of the greatest professors, Dr. Wadi. The class was rewarding. I learned a lot, but primarily I learned about effective teaching style. To become an effective teacher, you must have styles to navigate, and your teaching should be deliberate and intentional. You shouldn't allow your teaching to demote the student, but it should be promotional. And I also learned that in the classroom, to become an effective teacher, you must have a goal. And you must create an environment that will be suitable for learning. For what I have learned, I've applied it to my personal life and my profession, in that whenever I get to the class, I'm prepared with a goal and an objective. I also create a suitable learning environment where teaching and learning can take place.
Good evening to all. Jesse Fagins, and it's a privilege to be here. I want to say thanks to our professor. It was a good thing that I came back to school. And being in the classroom, in this class, I learned a lot. Like you spoke on the styles, I also talk about styles. And I'm not going to go there. I'm going to talk about practices, the best practices, those methods. And I want to be grateful that I came and I learned some of them. Now I'm applying some in my school. Let's take for instance, at student-centered learning, it's no longer on me anymore. The learning is centered around our kids. And another thing that I've started doing now is the collaborative team, that I have a group of teachers that we sit and then we brainstorm on, we find out those kids, the problems that they are faced with, and then finding out strategies that we can use to be able to handle those problems.
My name is Joshua C. Sompong, member of this class. Firstly, I want to be thankful to the Almighty God for affording me the time to be part of this class. And a special thanks to our professor who has been inspiring us and motivating us to see for ourselves. I'm thankful to God for the many things learned from this class. One major thing that I've learned, which is part of the two that I want to emphasize on, is it is difficult for you to learn everything at the same time. And what I've learned from this course is it is good as a great teacher to motivate, to inspire your students, because you are not able to teach everything at a particular time, but the way you inspire your students, you motivate them, it gives them the opportunity to dive into issues and to make discovery by themselves. And that will actually remain with them, because if you yourself go and discover something, it remains with you for life. So this idea has been part of my life since I started this particular lesson, and I have been sharing that with some of my colleagues in my work area. And most of my classes, when I go to the classroom, I love to motivate the students and be able to challenge them so that they can be able to discover for themselves. Another point that I want to stress has to do with a great teacher see deeper than the faces of their students. You know, in our setting today, Liberians, we don't really look at the students, the background they come from. Sometimes we go to class when we just start to teach and put our lesson through. But for a conducive environment to be created, because you don't know the background that students come from, with the kind of a situation we face within our country, it is good to see deeper than the faces of your students, because it is said that teaching is significant when you are attending to the needs, experiences, and the feelings of people. So the only way you can do that is when you see deeper than the faces of your students. So this has been part of my life.
I'm Odysseus N. Senior. I'm a member of this class, and I'm so grateful to sit under the feet of one of the best in our country to go through this class. This class has been very rewarding. One of the things that I've learned is the foundation for effective teaching, which means as a teacher, you must learn to build meaningful relationships with your students. and to also help them to build peer relationships among themselves that will be used in their learning development. And to do that, we were told that you must, as a good teacher, make use of existing and available information in your teaching. And a few of it that I got is theory as a guidepost for learning. There are so many theories. And one of them that really caught my attention that I really love is Howard Gardner theory of multiple intelligences. Meaning there are students with various intelligences, like music, like sport, interpersonal relationships, and linguistic intelligence. So I am grateful to God, and since then, my relationship with the students have changed. I don't no longer see myself as a boss. I see myself as a co-learner among my students. And believe me, it has helped me, even in relating to my own children. I am grateful. I will continue to develop. I will continue to make use of existing available materials, information to develop my own professional careers and where God has placed me to serve at the Victory Center International School System. Thank you.
My name is Eric D. Brown Sr. and I'm quite impressed and I'm motivated. I didn't know that we had 5 teaching styles. All I felt that I was the sole person, I was the only person that had knowledge. I didn't know that students also had knowledge. You know, 20 years ago or many years back, the professor was everything. But nowadays you can stand and students will ask you questions. And nowadays, you know, the internet has exposed us. So if you are the teacher, don't really prepare yourself. Sometimes the students will go ahead of you and they will ask you questions that you will not be able to answer. And one of the things probably I learned from you is that bad teachers will always punish the students, okay? And I was just sharing that with my wife. I said sometimes we don't really take time to teach the children and we beat on them. We just beat on them for little or nothing. So what I had learned, I would let you go to practice it here. When the students go, a lot of students, a lot of neighbors, you know, that come around and then they bring their lesson. And as soon as I was responsible, like when I used to come from work, and my children come, I'm hungry or I'm tired, I don't have the time to impart knowledge. They bring that, they say, oh, you don't want to learn, you know. And I don't really take time to sit with them to really teach them. But I had not let them to know that, you know, sometimes the atmosphere, the condition in which you find yourself, are also key to the learning process. Okay? I also learned that you don't boo your students. You have to be confidential, like we'll get our presentation recently. Okay, what the student tells you, you should be confidential. So what the guy tells you, say, look, I had a problem, you go expose it. Like when we work in procurement with the confidentiality, you know, you don't expose the other bidder to the other people, okay? So it also applies here. What we are learning is the confidentiality work here. And we'll get our presentation in ethics, okay? You have to be key, you have to know how to relate. You have to know how to relate to people. What are those things that will make a student shame? You don't tell them.
My name is Lucinda Takoma, and of the many lessons that were taught us during the course of this class, one of my major takeout for this class would be on the universal design of learning. And this is because it gives me an approach to deal with the different kinds of learners, which is the kinesthetic, the visual, and the auditory learners. And how has that benefited me or helped me in both my personal life and professional life? Is in the classroom, I know that I'm not just dealing with one category of learners, because before, like me and maybe most other teachers, we just focus on just teaching in a particular way and think that it's the right way for all the students to learn, that this is the right way that will focus on everybody. We just go ahead, explain, give notes, and we don't give practical examples. And even when you teach subjects that are not tangible, like for example, me, I teach grade 12 economics. Although there are principles, or most of the principles and the theories of economics are not practical, but I try to make create real life situations where they can think and use their mind's eye, and that they can be able to practicalize. For example, the theory on opportunity cost, the cost of the foregone alternative. I can easily give an example that imagine you're supposed to buy a shoe and you're supposed to buy a book bag. The cost at which you did not buy the shoe and chose to buy the book bag, that's your opportunity cost. So what does that mean? You didn't buy the book bag, so you will not have a place to put your book when you come to school. You will not have something that you can hold your books in, something like that. So in your mind eyes, you can visualize that, and it helps both the auditory, the kinesthetic, and the visual learners. So I think that was one of my biggest takeout from this course, and it has helped me and made my teaching more practical.
Thunder Ita is my name, and I'm honored to be one of the members of this class. As we all know that teaching is the mother of our profession, and we are all educators, so prioritize teaching. My main intake is focused on the role of teachers. Many times teachers feel that we are just people who should enter the classroom and just teach, turn our backs and go back home and be a caring and loving father, a caring and loving wife, a caring and loving husband. But we forget to know that the role we also play in the classroom should also be a role of a parent. Aristotle once said that a teacher should always be more honored than even the parents who give birth to the children who give us. Sorry. Because teachers spend more time with kids and they impart most of what kids learn as they grow up. So Pratt also put it in a way that teachers must be able to deliver effectively. Not just to do deliveries, but deliveries should be done effectively and should be done on time. And we should also model the way of doing things the right way. Our role is not just to go to the classroom and teach, but to show love also to the kids that we teach.
I'm David Cody. Actually, I'm extremely grateful to Dr. Charles Body for all of what he has taught us. Honestly, Dr. Body is really a great teacher, for he has numerous characteristics of a great teacher. For example, he has great content knowledge. I detected that from his responses to our questions. When I just started the class, I thought, since he's a young teacher, perhaps he doesn't really understand the material well. But from his responses to our questions, I trusted him. Not only great content knowledge, he is caring, he is inspiring. He has really been inspiring me a lot. He has. And this inspiration has been helping me to go beyond the class lessons. I download videos about teaching strategies. I download videos about the kinds of learners. Just before I came, I downloaded some videos about Bloom's taxonomy and about the hierarchy of needs. Why did I do those things? Because of the inspiration I got from Dr. Body.
I would first like to tell Dr. Body, thank you so much. You have inspired me in ways I really don't know. Everything that I have learned from the day I entered your class, I have been practical last day. Even at home, there was one time you said, one parent who children always used to wish that she doesn't come home. And I saw myself in that, being so technical, being so hard on my 17 years old daughter. And when I got that story, I went back and started changing. Right now we are friends, and she can tell me anything. My students, they've been friendly with me, but it is more now. Even including other students. From the 9th grade, I teach the 4th grade. But even 9th grade, 8th grade, they all come to me because of what I've been getting from your class on how to take lessons out of the classroom and go beyond the classroom. Yeah, I've been doing that. Wanting to know what's going on with them, being their friend, wanting to listen to them, talking with them. I've learned a lot.
I've learned a lot, but for this time, I'll focus on constructive facing from the side of Shelly Piaget. And this has helped me in learning my lesson. I'm not a regular teacher. I'm a supervisor. But when my teachers are not around, sometimes I go to the classroom to fit in. And I'm meeting with the ECD session. So this case, we do the morning meeting, the circle time. And in the circle time, in our circle, we will go through everything, and then we bring in a topic for the week, our theme for that time, and we bring in our topic for the week. And applying this, you will see that when you ask what's the topic for the week, they call it topic for the week. And then because we want to include them into our lesson planning for the next day or for the next week, we allow them, like for last week we did, last month we did my body. And in my body, when you ask them, they will name the parts of their bodies, and sometimes along with their functions. And this has helped because it will give you a guideline towards planning your lesson, and it will help you achieve your goal quicker. So the idea in the morning meeting and the second time has been applied towards Jean Piaget's constructive facing theory. The students make sense and meaning out of what they already know about that experience that they have is what they're going to give in. And here you're not going to tell them, no, you're wrong. But you're going to pat their shoulders, you're going to put them on, and that new knowledge will just be building upon what they know. Sometimes when they are off altogether, they will not feel distracted, they will feel a part of the lesson. And because of what I've achieved over time, I've planned and have started practicalizing that every time before I teach, I will do pre-teaching. And the pre-teaching will help me to do a better preparation in achieving my goals and objectives at the same time. So I'm very grateful to all of you. I mean, to comrades too that have encouraged me one way or the other to stay focused. And I'm grateful to have you as a professor. Hope we meet again.
And I'm so delighted to be a part of this exercise today. And I want to thank Dr. Body for exercising his control over this course. And we personally enjoy his deliberation. We have learned a lot. But for the purpose of this course for today, lessons, we just want to stroke in a little few issues of what we have learned as a student in this class. And I have learned to understand that to have control of your class as a teacher, you only need to be effective in your teaching. Your teaching needs to be effective. And so you can have a better control of your class. And by that, it means you must have mastery of your subject. You must be able to have a better group teaching experience, and by that you will be able to get the attention of the students, their receptiveness, and you must be able to clearly explain and demonstrate what you teach, and by that it controls the entire class. That means effective teaching. A great teacher is one who inspires, who is humble, who is attentive, and who has a very good listening ability.
First of all, I want to extend my thanks and appreciation to Professor Bogi I've been opportune to learn a lot from him. In time past, actually, before coming to this class, to do this course, I've used very strenuous measures against the students who are considered like rude students. But from this class, I begin to change my methodologies because I learned a lot from Dr. Bully. So as a teacher, you are there to solve problems. You cannot solve problems by adding to a problem. And in that, you first of all have to look at yourself as a teacher. And when you look at yourself and ask yourself, what can I do in order to help this child or this student out of the situation they are going through? And in that, I took something from this class. He said, failure and success can be predicted. That caught my attention. The children we are teaching today, who so many are misbehaving in schools, so many kids from other schools in which there was no control. These children do not even know that they are predicting their own failures. They see their life as a kind of a lifestyle that is good to them. Let me give one example. We have a student in the school. He's known in our area. The father, he has been from different schools. They have given me NT hours and so on. And the father was very sincere when he said, my son is a bad boy. But I heard about your disciplinary measures. Can you please accept my son in your school? And I said, bring him home. Because from what I learned from the class, it's not the tough measures that you use on children. So when he came to the school, he said, Pastor, I heard that in school you look at whip children. That was the past. When I learned a lot from this class, and frankly speaking, we have put a stop to that in the school now. But then I begin to befriend him. Today, that little child who is in the 10th grade, he loved education so much that he never wanted to miss school. Part of the strategy I used on him. The first thing is that I begin to befriend him and sit with him and talk with him and encourage him. Those are inspirational words that Dr. Barry shared with us in the class. I go back home, sometimes sit in my office, go over those words, and when I invite him to my office, I begin to say these very words to him. And I observed that his attitudes started changing in the school. And the father, just last week, came back and brought another boy, one of his relative's son, who had been expelled in another school. And the boy, father, he started classes today. Why? Because we are problem solvers. Parents will come to us. How do we relate to our parents, especially in this society? I mean, I must be frank. I sat in the class and kept thinking in my mind about people that come to university and just getting themselves up and disturbing the campus of other people are here to learn. And I was sitting in my seat, I kept pondering over what I'm hearing. These are a bunch of people who have nothing to do. And they are good children among our group. Who parents send them here to learn, but they are being careless of peer pressure. But I asked a question, and I must be frank. I said, some of these people who support them, most of them are supported by politicians. If these politician children are out of this country or in this country, going to good schools and learning. What can we do as teachers, even here at the university campus? What can we do to help some of these young people to begin to reconstruct their thinking so that they will know that if we do not learn, we are coming back into the same cycle in this nation. So we are problem solvers, teachers, let's do our best. Those strategies we learn, especially I'm so grateful to Dr. Barry. I must admit, personally I told him, I've learned a lot from this class. So much. And it's benefiting the school that I'm running. And I'm also using these methods, talking to teachers. I spoke with one of my teachers, he's so aggressive. In fact, in other school, a student punched him in the face. And he came to teach in my school. And the first time I began to thinking skill, what can I do to help this teacher? And I used my time to sit to him in my office and begin to talk to him. I said, if you think you have children in your class that are disturbing your class, befriend them. Bring them closer to you. And when he began to apply these methods, he realized that the particular boy who was always distracted, even challenging, the boy has started changing because he had befriended this boy. So, Dr. Boy, I want to say thank you for the class. I'm not perfect in all what I've learned from you. I'm striving, and by the grace of God, I'm going to improve. Thank you.
For the reflection, I think as students of this class, you should always take that into consideration. Yes, as a teacher also, always do a little reflection. What you know, what you don't know, and how well you can do what you know. Yes, that the learner will be able to take that here. That will be what we refer to as well appropriate. Because when you reflect, you always design a strategy that will be appropriate for learning. So in my reflection, you always fall short. So on that basis, I want to be very grateful to Dr. Bolly for the opportunity given us for the past time being with him. It's a great statement, and from what he has, for the short knowledge I've been so far, I've already started benefiting from it because some schools have already started coming to conduct workshop for teachers. So I started eating the benefits small. So I now waiting to get a degree first. I start putting the practice, and when I see myself presenting, I just see myself just like him. Because that's why he can get, I go home, I study word for word, and I put myself into it, and it actually makes me to be a great teacher. So most of the time, when I enter in my school where I'm at as one of them children also teaching, when I see some teacher doing the wrong thing, it can really get to me sometimes. I won't get angry, I can hold back because it's a process. Some of them they've been inside for a long time. When you tell them, they'll say, you know how long I've been teaching 40, 50 years. So sometimes I say, well, being in the team for a long time doesn't mean doing it the right way. Yeah, but still they don't want to learn. But however, we'll be there. That's the process. So yeah, I play a major part in my life.
I don't think I did all I could do. I think I can even do more next semester and bring forth ideas that didn't happen. This didn't happen last semester. I'm thinking around this and many other things that could be possible. That's the responsibility we have. Go to your school sometime and try to change some dynamics, not to steer the team around to chaos, but to make other people who are there to think that somebody is thinking. Because only those who are really thinking and acting can free their environment. So when I say we can do it again, we see good records, best teacher, global teachers, just but I think 2021 they got one of the 10 finalists. They celebrated him. He didn't come first, but he was one of the 10 world best teachers. Actually, they have the number 1, but they have the top 10 globally. We normally go to Dubai, that's where they have the headquarters, to get 1 out of the 10. So others are making efforts. This initiative may be as small as it is, but once you keep adding good practices and challenging yourself, the good thing is that you will improve and benefit immediately. I mean, you don't have to wait. And that's how it should be. So our time is up, but again, I'm very confident that each person, as you have expressed, is growing up with something. The essence of the course generally is to add to our effectiveness. Whether it is first establishing what teaching is, knowing fully well that it is only a place where you learn again and give somebody and learn again. So that's why it's the best profession, not just because you go make research, you benefit, to make your life better. You stand in front of people, give it to them, you reinforce yourself, and review it, and then you yourself becoming a better person. I don't know what a better gift it is. When I was keynote speaker, some of you saw the message, I was telling the other teachers, professors, lecturers, that this profession is the only profession called on to complete creation. Because all things that are given by God were raw materials. I mean, this is not to say God cannot complete, but He has deposited some potential within us so we can continue. This particular stuff is from a tree. God did not bring chairs, He did not bring tables, He did not bring many things you can think about. So in my opinion, while making some research to go and talk to those people, I realized that everything that came is raw. Unless it has someone to finish it, it cannot be finished. And especially for the mind, once have somebody you giving birth to and put them in the room, feed them, give them everything, they will not write, they will not speak, they will not do I don't know what else. And people try it before. So actually human being is a raw material. The processors are you.